Welcome back. Today we're doing a deep dive into something I think, well, almost everyone experiences at some point. That feeling of being really, truly stuck. You know, that pattern. The one that seems to hijack your reactions, whether it's to a new job, a new person, or, I don't know, even just a text message that's a bit late.
Yeah, that thing that happened maybe years ago, but feels like it's still pulling the strings today.
Exactly. And we're exploring a pretty radical idea here. That maybe you, the listener, aren't fundamentally broken or damaged.
Right. The premise we're digging into is that the core issue isn't necessarily what you feel, as intense as that might be, but actually how you see, how you perceive things.
There's this concept that just grabs you.
Yeah.
The idea you might be, well, perceptually colonized.
It sounds dramatic, but it points to something important. That defining event, the trauma maybe, didn't just happen and then become a memory.
It did more.
It installed itself like a lens right into the architecture of your awareness, and now it filters pretty much everything that comes after.
And you're saying this isn't just a metaphor, like a poetic way of describing it.
Not at all. This is grounded in Gestalt psychology. It views perception as an active process. Your mind isn't just receiving information, it's actively constructing your reality moment by moment.
How does it do that?
By organizing everything into structures. The key ones are figure and ground.
Okay, figure and ground. That feels like the foundation here. Let's unpack that in our first part.
Yeah.
The figure that ate the field.
Absolutely. To get why we feel stuck, you have to understand figure ground. The figure is, well, it's what grabs your attention. The most urgent or emotional or unresolved thing in your awareness right now.
It stands out.
It stands out, demanding focus. And the ground is, well, everything else. The context, the background noise, all the stuff that isn't immediately grabbing you.
And normally, that figure changes all the time.
In a fluid, healthy mind, yes.
Yeah.
1 second it's the coffee brewing, the next it's an email notification, then it's a physical sensation. It shifts constantly.
But trauma plays by different rules.
Completely. Trauma is like the ultimate figure maker. And it doesn't always have to be loud or dramatic in the moment. It has what the source calls emotional gravity.
Emotional gravity. Like a black hole.
Exactly like that. It just pulls your attention towards it relentlessly. You can't seem to look away even if you want to.
And part of you is actually helping it do that.
In a way, yes. The mind keeps circling that traumatic event or that core wound. It's usually an unconscious thing, a desperate attempt to finally resolve it, to understand it, maybe even control it in hindsight.
So you think you're just remembering, but really,
You're reperceiving. You're constantly structuring your present moment around that unresolved past figure.
okay, but hang on. If we say someone's perception is colonized, isn't there a risk that sounds like we're dismissing their pain? Like saying, oh, you're just seeing it wrong.
That's a really crucial point. And no, the language isn't meant to blame or dismiss. The pain is absolutely real, 100%.
So what's the nuance there?
The term colonized is trying to highlight the structural takeover. The pain isn't just a feeling. It's become the organizing principle. It's taken over the, let's say, the executive function of how you perceive, almost like it's trying to protect you by making everything look like a potential repeat threat.
Okay, that reframes it. It's about the structure, not invalidating the feeling. Let's use that Elena example. I found that really clarifying.
Right, Elena. 5 years ago, her partner just vanished, ghosted her completely after a long relationship.
Which isn't just a breakup, it's this profound betrayal, totally unresolved.
And that event didn't just fade, it crystallized. It became a permanent filter in her awareness.
So what does that look like now, 5 years later?
Well, think about the feedback loop. She meets someone new, someone genuinely kind, maybe reliable.
But she doesn't see that.
She can't easily. She's scanning unconsciously for the ghost of the one who left, looking for the first sign of withdrawal, the first hint of abandonment.
Wow, so a text that comes back right away might feel suspicious.
Could be filed under too good to be true, yeah. Or a canceled dinner plan, even with a perfectly valid reason.
It's not just inconvenient.
For her, in that moment, it can feel like an echo, a confirmation of that deep belief installed by the trauma. See? Everyone leaves. Her present is constantly being filtered to confirm that past fear.
So the trauma becomes the organizing principle built around that question, will it happen again? Will I be abandoned?
Exactly, and because that figure, the fear of abandonment, is so dominant, so charged, her perception becomes incredibly selective.
Meaning she misses things.
Literally doesn't see them as significant. The friend who's been consistently supportive for years, the unexpected promotion at work, a moment of simple joy, it all falls into the background. the ground. It doesn't fit the narrative dictated by the figure, so it doesn't register with the same weight.
Okay, and this is why just telling someone like Elena to let it go or think positive often feels, well, useless.
Utterly frustrating, usually. Because if it were just a negative thought, maybe you could reframe it with enough effort. But we're talking about a perceptual configuration.
It's the structure of what you see.
Exactly, not just what you think about what you see. Trying to fix it with thoughts alone is like trying to repaint the walls of a room while the whole room is sinking into the ground. Yeah. You're working inside the very structure that's the problem.
You can't fix the field from within the field.
You need to change the room itself. Which brings us neatly to part 2. Looking at the architecture of this trap structure, attention, and this drive for closure.
Right, because the source materials suggest you're not really trapped by the content of the trauma, the story itself.
No, you're trapped by your attention to it, where your focus goes.
I like the analogy you used. Trauma isn't the monster hiding in the closet.
No. What is it then?
It's the high-powered flashlight you keep aimed squarely at the closet door, convinced the monster is there waiting.
I see. And because your attention is fixed there.
You don't see the rest of the room. The open window, the solid floor, maybe even the key sitting on the table. Your fixed attention becomes the prison walls.
And structure is key here. It reminds me of Kurt Kafka's Gestalt principle. The whole is other than the sum of its parts.
Meaning?
Trauma doesn't just add bad memories. It fundamentally distorts the structure of your whole experience. Time gets warped. The past feels vividly present. Your sense of self can shrink. You feel perpetually small or helpless. It's the restrictive structure that trauma imposes on your awareness that's so powerful.
Like that classic optical illusion, Rubens' vase.
Oh yeah, the vase and the faces.
Right. You look at it and you see either the white face in the middle or the two black faces looking at each other in profile. The image itself doesn't change at all.
Only your perception shifts. What's figure? What's ground?
Exactly. So healing isn't about trying to smash the vase, trying to erase the trauma.
It's about learning to shift your perception even slightly so you can also see the faces. So the strength, the resilience, the other parts of you can come into the foreground too.
Does this connect to, like, our biology, our brains?
Absolutely. There's a clear link to the nervous system. Trauma can create a very strong predictive pattern. Your system, trying desperately to keep you safe, essentially narrows your perceptual field. It becomes like a spotlight, constantly scanning for the next potential threat, the next loss, the next betrayal.
And the awful part is,
you tend to find what you're structured to look for. You start noticing tiny cues you interpret as toxic, or you register failures much more strongly than successes because your whole system is primed to detect danger based on the past danger.
it's a self-fulfilling prophecy almost, built into perception itself.
It can feel that way. And then there's this other Gestalt concept, the open Gestalt.
What's that?
Think about an unfinished sentence like, she walked towards the door and saw.
Yeah, you immediately want to know what she saw. It feels incomplete.
Exactly. The mind craves closure. It needs to complete the pattern. Trauma is often the ultimate open Gestalt, an unresolved structure, vibrating with unfinished energy, constantly pulling your attention towards it, demanding resolution.
But here's the paradox you mentioned earlier.
Yes, the cruel paradox. The harder you try to force that closure by analyzing the trauma endlessly, trying to figure out the why, trying to solve it like a puzzle,
the more you actually keep it open.
You keep the structure active and charged. Think of a rubber band. You want to release the tension, but all that mental effort, that analysis, is like pulling the rubber band tighter and tighter. You're keeping the structure taut by focusing on it.
So you can't think your way to closing it.
Structures don't typically close through analysis alone. They reconfigure through experiential shifts, through doing something different.
Which leads us directly into part 3. How do we actually restructure the field? If we can't fight the figure, can't analyze it away, what do we do?
We shift the goal. Instead of treating the trauma as the main content, the story we need to fix, we work on making it context, part of a larger picture. We need to expand the field itself.
Make the room bigger, basically.
Yes. And that expansion has to involve the body. This isn't just a head game.
Why the body?
Because the perceptual field isn't purely mental, it's deeply physiological. Trauma often lives in muscle tension, in breath patterns, in posture. You know, the classic slumped shoulders, shallow breathing.
That guarded posture.
Right. That posture is a structure of contraction. So changing the body can immediately start to change the field. Simply standing up straight, stretching your arms out wide, taking a full deep breath that physically creates a structure of expansion. It challenges the habitual, contracted structure imposed by the trauma figure.
The body holds the map, and you can redraw parts of it. Okay, so what are the tools? How do we actively shift perception and loosen that structure?
Let's talk about 3 kind of radical tools. The first is awareness, but maybe redefined slightly as perceptual flexibility.
How does that work?
When you feel that familiar pull the anxiety tightening in your chest, that wave of old fear washing over you, the key isn't to fight it or analyze it in that moment.
What then?
You simply ask yourself with genuine curiosity, okay, that's here, what else is here right now?
So if Elena feels that anxiety rise when reading a text,
Instead of diving down the rabbit hole of he's pulling away, she pauses and asks, okay, anxiety is here. What else? Is the sun warm on her skin? Can she hear a bird outside? What does the chair feel like beneath her? Is there even a tiny flicker of curiosity about something else?
you're not trying to replace the anxiety with fake positivity.
Not at all. You're just allowing other elements, other potential figures into the foreground. You're diluting the trauma's monopoly on attention. It's about rebalancing the field, shifting from total contraction towards more spaciousness.
Okay, that makes sense. What's the second tool?
Experimentation. Gestalt is very much about what works in your direct experience.
Yeah.
So you playfully try on new structures, new ways of seeing, even if you don't fully believe them yet.
Give me an example. If the trauma figure is whispering, you're fundamentally flawed or unlovable.
Trying to force yourself to think I am totally lovable might feel false, like too big a jump. It might even create resistance.
So what's the experiment?
You try a more flexible structure, something like, what if it's possible, just possible, that someone, somewhere, could genuinely appreciate me even if I can't feel that possibility right now? Or what might it be like to act for 5 minutes as if I were capable?
You're just testing a different configuration.
Exactly. You're testing a new internal shape or structure. This relates to a concept called isomorphism.
Isomorphism. Okay, break that down.
It's basically the idea that the structure of your inner world tends to mirror or match the shape of the structure of your outer experience or what you notice in it.
Like shape matching.
Kind of. If your internal structure shifts, even slightly, say from contracted fear towards open curiosity, you literally start to notice more things in your environment that match open curiosity, things that were invisible before because they didn't fit the fear structure.
So changing the inner shape lets you perceive a different outer reality.
It allows different aspects of reality to come into focus. Yes, you're experimenting to see what new perceptions become available.
It connects the dots really well.
Yeah.
Okay, third tool.
And this one might be the most liberating. Play.
Play. How does play help with trauma?
Play is powerful because it inherently involves suspending the real or serious structure of the world. It allows you to restructure reality without pressure.
Like what?
You could literally draw your pain, but give it a silly hat and big floppy shoes, make it a cartoon villain. Or maybe sing about your deepest grief, but set it to the tune of a completely ridiculous, upbeat song.
Sounds almost disrespectful to the pain.
It's not about disrespecting the pain's reality, but about challenging its monopoly on meaning and its perceived permanence. Play decentralizes the trauma. By treating the structure as something you can temporarily mold and shift, you're teaching your entire system, mind and body, that the reality created by the trauma isn't fixed, it's malleable.
Okay, these tools, awareness, experimentation, play, they really shift the focus from understanding the past to reshaping the present perception.
Precisely. And this changes what we mean by real insight.
Yeah, usually we think of insight as that aha moment, that intellectual breakthrough of, well, that's why I always do that.
Right. But in Gestalt terms, true insight isn't primarily an intellectual conclusion. It's a spontaneous restructuring of the perceptual field.
It's an experience.
It's an experiential shift. It feels less like, I understand why X happened, and more like, whoa, I see this differently now. The abandonment, the failure, whatever it was, suddenly it's just context, not the whole story, not the defining figure.
It's realizing maybe I wasn't broken, I just organized myself this way to survive, and now I can reorganize.
Exactly that. It's a felt sense of shift in the structure itself.
So pulling this all together for you, the listener, the fundamental shift here is moving away from trying to fix something you think is broken inside you.
Yes, and moving towards integrating what feels unfinished. Weaving that trauma, that difficult figure, into the larger tapestry of your life's field so it doesn't have to keep screaming for all the attention just to be acknowledged.
Which completely reframes the whole idea of being triggered.
Totally. Triggers stop being these terrifying landmines you have to constantly scan for and avoid.
They become...
They become more like doorbells. Each time you feel triggered, it's like the field itself is giving you instant feedback. It's saying, hey, notice this. You're organizing around that old dominant figure again right now.
So it's an opportunity.
An opportunity to pause, notice, and maybe try again. To consciously widen your view, recalibrate your attention, use one of the tools. Look wider, the trigger says.
Ultimately, then, the source suggests we're not really defined by what happened to us,
but by how we hold it, how we carry it in our field of awareness right now. The challenge isn't to erase the past, but maybe to outgrow the trauma's restrictive structure.
by becoming more spacious, more permeable.
Yes. Realizing the prison wasn't necessarily the pain itself. The prison was the fixed attention, staring at that one spot on the wall for so long.
Which brings us to a final thought, something for you to really sit with. Imagine that difficult past, that core pain, as a big, gnarled, dark tree in a forest. You've been standing right in front of it for years, maybe decades.
Defining yourself by it, maybe waiting for it to change or just disappear.
So the question we leave you with is this. What might you see? Who might you become if you stopped staring directly at the tree and simply turned around?